Hello there, welcome to the O7 Academy, where your interest in computer is our goal. So in today's video, we'll be looking at a brief introduction in JavaScript. And what we'll be looking at in JavaScript, we'll be looking at how to create a JavaScript file, and we'll just be looking at JavaScript variables. And the types of variables we can have in JavaScript. So we'll just come to our editor here, and under our folder, we'll be creating two folder. First an HTML, and then we can create a JS. So I'm calling this app.html first, because there are actually two ways of actually creating an JavaScript file. So just at it can be created within the body or outside the body, but we'll be creating it right here. We're creating it outside the body. So in doing that, we just come over here, and to create that, actually you just put the script tag. Actually there are two types of script tag, and you just put this here, and here we go, we have this already. Or it can be done using linking it using another script tag, as we can come over here, which is easier for us for actually creating a different file entirely. So just put here and put our source, and we can call this app.js, this being the simplest of all, and it will be more simpler when doing it. So we just come here and close our tag, and there we go, we have it like this. So you can just come over here, and we'll create a JavaScript file and call that app.js. So actually JS actually signifies that it tells the app that this is actually a JavaScript file to be run. So just put that OK, and as you can see over here, the icon is placed by JS. That is, you have opened a JavaScript file. So when doing this, we have it empty, just like this. So these are the two methods of actually creating a JavaScript file or inserting JavaScript into your code. The first one was just putting a normal script, like a body script, and then just putting your variables and all of that. Or for simplicity and to make your code actually look simpler, we just create a separate file for JavaScript. So first of all, we'll be looking at what a variable is. So we can actually create different type of variable, and we have that these variables, they are like containers that actually hold data, or they hold an item, or what have you. So one of the variable we're actually looking at is variable keyword. We're actually looking at is basically there are three. So when we're looking at the var, the let, and the cost. So when we look at the first of all, we look at var, and you can just come over here, and let me say we want to store something in, we must actually have a name. Actually, it's like a container, but the container must like have a name. So let me say you can pick whatsoever name of your choice. So I'll just come and do a is equal to, and I want to store my name in it, so I'll just come and put either a single quote or a double quote, or what have you. So I'll just come and store it as nowhere 07, and that's all. So in doing this, so when we ask that, basically when we run our HTML file or our CSS file, we will actually see that in our preview. We use our preview to actually check what we are doing, so we actually know what is in our, what's going to appear in our web page, and all of that. And as we know, JavaScript is actually to make our HTML functionality better and make it dynamic and what have you, as the introduction I dropped in our group. So if you're not in our group, just look at our description to join our WhatsApp group. Alright, so in checking if we actually have this, so we just come over here and we'll be using what we know as the console log tab. So just type in console.log, and so we want to see if we actually have this a displaying nowhere also. So we just come over here and put in a, that is the name of our container, or it's like it's holding a data, and the data is holding there is actually it's a string. So I'll tell you what a string is. So it's actually holding my name, and we're just going to come to our So no, we'll not do it from the JS part. We are going to be doing it from the HTML part because it's where everything is being run and preview. So we are just going to our preview, and as we have here empty, but as we can see over here, if I can zoom in, we have what we call the console. And as you can see the console, we have what we call Nuel07. So this console is actually used to actually view an HTML file, and this console, sorry, a JavaScript file or a JavaScript data that is being run in the interface of the web page. So as you can see here, we have the name Noel7. So we can actually just, we are going to come to our separate file here. So we can actually just name it whatsoever we want to. I can actually come and I'll put whatsoever I want to put. I can come and put a number or a digit or whatsoever, and I'm going to still have that logged onto our console. That is, the A is been holding this data, and I'm logging into our console to actually see what we have in this container, as you can see over here, and everything is working perfectly. So we have different type of data type actually that we can store, and this type that is being stored in a double quote or a single quote is actually what we know as a string. Because on the norms we can't actually, because there's a reason why, without the double quote or the single quote we can't actually just store a data like that, because it won't work perfectly. If you actually think you are actually trying to represent it in another form, and when we go there we're going to be seeing an undefined, or we're going to be seeing hjk is not defined, so just like that. So we have to store this actually in a string, in a double quote, to actually make it a string functional. And when we come over here to our preview, we have this hjk because it's telling us that this hjk is actually being stored in it, and it's a regular letter or regular alphabet, not like the other one that you're actually going to represent. You're trying to trying to represent it, saying A is B and B is whatever. So we actually have another type of data type which we call numbers. Well, numbers don't actually this they don't actually need string to, you just put them like that and they are being represented on their own. Well, there's a reason for this actually. Based on our container is being represented by a alphabet, we cannot represent our container using a number. It won't work. So but you can actually, after using a letter, you can actually add a number, and but saying you starting it with a number, it won't work. So in doing this over here, adding a number after it represents, so there will not be a confusion. But saying you have an alphabet here and you're presenting it by another alphabet, so you won't know what you are trying to say. You actually think you are trying to present it in another form. That's how we actually need either a single quote or a double quote in representing an alphabet. But in terms of number, you don't actually need that because it actually know what it's doing and it understands where you're going to actually. So we just come here, and over here we can see we have our number. Everything is working perfectly. So we can actually check this type of data. We also have what we call the boolean type. The boolean type is actually either is true. This one don't actually need to be stored in a string. It doesn't actually need to be stored in a string. It actually is true or it's false. So we just come to what we have here, and as you can see we have true because we didn't actually store it in a string, or sorry, in double quotes as representing as a string. It's just a boolean value, and they are just two. Either we have a true or a false. And to actually check this, if it's a boolean, we just come over here and we're going to put type of as you can see over here, type of A. So when we come to our JS, as you can see over here, it's telling us that that's not just a string, that's not a number, but rather it's a boolean. And a boolean is like a conditional statement, either it's true or it's false. And we can come here, we just change this to false, and still a boolean figure. As you can see over here, the purple color telling us it's a boolean, but checking in our console log, we actually identify it and confirms it's a boolean. So actually, we can actually come here. So if we actually want to come here and we just add a double quote or a single quote, that actually changed it. And when we come to our app.js, checking what we have, as you can see over here, it's telling us it's a string. It's actually a string because it's being stored in a double quote, either in a double quote or a single quote, wherever you choose to use. And when we store in a number, and when we check the type of, as you can see over here, telling us it is a number. So it actually tells us how to store. We have seen the type of data type, so we'll be using the so the let acts same way as the var does, and is the most popular, being that the var is actually the first, it was the first type used to represent if your figure is actually a container or not. And then we have the const. Well, this const is actually telling you that const, it means that once you say const a, it means that this letter a cannot be used again. You have to use either use another letter, or use another word, because you can actually use a word or letter to actually represent a container, so it cannot be used again. So if we come here and do const a, and we come and put a equals to, let me put here hey, and I'll close this with our semicolon over here. So when we run this here, as you can see here, assignment to a constant variable. So what does that mean? Is that when you assign an a value to a constant variable, okay, no, our console.log was actually type of, so we'll actually remove this over here and we'll put a, just a, so we'll see what we have. That one was actually telling that it's a variable to a constant. So we'll come to our preview and assignment to a constant variable. Okay, same thing over there. So but if we actually change this to a b, and we check our console.log, as you can see over here, we have 55. But when we check for b, so we just copy this and we paste this over here. We just put our b, and when we check our app.js, we have this 55 and hey. So actually this is actually used to store data and a lot of things. So we've talked about the various type, the let, the const, and the var. But the most popular and the one I'll tell you to use mostly is the let, because it's the most popular and most easier, because you can be able to represent one with another, but on different scope, which we'll be looking at later. So if I copy this over, I just cut this and I remove this from here. So I just script a normal script tag, just like the way our body is, that's screen on the first one, and I paste this over here. We're still going. So as you can see, you can actually create using an HTML file, you can actually create a JavaScript file, a CSS file, and that's to show you how interesting this is. So thank you for watching this video. Please like, subscribe, so you can get more of our latest videos. God bless you.